Hello, this is Lisa Russick with the podcast We Are All Psychic, and we have Miriam back today. Yeah. Hey, Miriam.
Hi,
How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Very tired, kind of weird way, an abstract kind of thought way. And speaking of abstract thought, do you still think we're all psychic?
I do.
You do. It's all there. It's all there, guys. So Miriam she wanted to talk to us today about something kind of really interesting, like about creatures. Mysterious, fantastical creatures, I assume. So where would you like to start with this?
I guess when I was growing up, we never were taught that any such things existed.
Yeah.
Um, and like we did get taught that like ghosts or spirits existed,
Yeah.
but like anything that was like not human looking kind of thing was pretty much like those didn't exist
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
deal. So like I pretty much had to see something to actually believe that there's like, what was that?
Right.
So,
Right.
I would say that probably living out in like the boonies will definitely open your mind up to different kinds of things that you end up seeing that you're like, what is that?
Yeah, that's very true. I have lived out in the middle of nowhere before, and it is like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't get scared away as easily, I guess maybe, I don't know. But yeah,
Yeah.
and then working with kids too, a lot of times they would have weird stories about stuff they would see.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I
for
bet.
example, there's there was this kid that told me that one night they were out camping, and this was only about 6 miles outside of town. And she said that they started feeling like somebody was watching them. They started getting creeped out. And then one of the boys got weirded out and started chasing after somebody. They could hear something. And so they all waited for him to come back, and he came back and said that a tree had ran away from him.
Oh my gosh.
But it wasn't a tree. It was like something wanted him to think it was a tree.
Like
Kind
tree
of,
beard.
and I was like, okay, so that kind of thing is different from even the like Native American type things that I heard about when I lived up in like, like just south of like Canada areas.
Right. Right. I was wondering,
And
I would think of Bigfoot. That's like the first creature I always think.
yeah,
Because I think I think he's out there. I think the Yeti are out there. Something like that. There's something weird there. I've never experienced any kind of creatures like that, though.
I've seen probably three like significant things just in the area that I live in.
Tell us about that. I'd love to hear.
Uh,
And listeners and watchers, this is a video podcast if you would like to watch us sitting on our couches and
and drinking tea.
drinking tea. I'm drinking my mango. So,
Good
yeah.
idea. You'll probably be able to sleep better tonight than I will.
You never know. Well, actually, tonight I'm going to sleep fine, I think. I'm kind of out of it here. So tell
So
me,
like I
please. Yeah, I'm so curious.
So I guess like the first time that I ever actually saw something like, wide awake, I'm looking at him like I'm looking at you kind of situation was like driving on like a river road, a highway, so it's paved, but
Yeah.
you're just like on a highway that's cut into the side of a mountain. There's pine trees everywhere, and then there's, rapids basically. And people in the summertime they like to like float that stuff because they're, in my opinion, very, very reckless with their lives.
Yeah, it seems so.
Because you live
I
out long enough and you hear about people drowning all the time. You're like,
bet
maybe
you do.
don't do
Gosh.
that. Yeah. So like
Yeah.
I went tubing once and was like, yeah, that's not for me.
Yeah.
And this was like calm, calm water.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
bad things
Yeah.
can still happen. Um, so I was a passenger. So when I'm a passenger, I look out the window like a dog and stare at everything. There was lots of people like getting in rafts and like standing outside of the water and setting up camps and things like that because it was getting to be like closer to evening.
Yeah.
And I saw these kids all huddled in a little circle, and I was like, stoners, so I like leaned out to really watch them, right? And when I looked at them, I noticed or felt somebody else. And I looked back across the tree line. I mean, this all happened super fast because I was in a moving vehicle. But it was another young gentleman like sitting on like a tree stump watching them, just kind of amusedly.
Weird.
He was shirtless. He had like a little goatee and like longer hair. And I realized that the stump that he was sitting on, like the bark of it were like actually like his legs.
Whoa. So that
And I
might be
was
that
like,
tree thing that he had that experience with.
right, like who knows? And so like I've heard
Freaky.
like the most I've ever heard is you know, one guy, that lives in the state or used to live in the state saying they're like forest creatures. Usually you see them
So
within
one
like
person said they know what it is, and
right. And usually they're fine, but they can be good or bad. You just have to kind of,
what did he call it?
just call it a forest creature.
Forest creature. Huh. Maybe it's like a nymph, because nymphs are shown that way, like tree part person.
Kind of looked like something like that. Like it didn't
Yeah.
have horns, but it had like the barky like legs
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whenever I
kind of
think of like
situation.
a wood nymph, I think of the kind of wood that doesn't have bark, like that real smooth kind, and it comes up as legs, and then the person comes out with like branches on their hands, you know?
Definitely like looked like, like facial features and like body type. He could have played like an elf on Lord of the Rings movies, like very
Yeah.
aquiline, I guess, features is what you would call those. But
Yeah.
it was all super fast, and I was like,
That's
I didn't
crazy.
realize they had those out here, so I thought that was um,
Wow, they have them out here too.
in broad daylight and all, and being
Yeah,
completely
he's just
sober.
hanging out
It
watching
was
the
like
kids play
yeah, it
or
was
do
a
whatever they
like
do.
strange experience of like
Maybe he was
it just
catching a
happened.
contact high. I don't know. Is this
Yeah, it was
really? I mean, I guess they could get any kind of thing growing they wanted. I don't know. It's just interesting. It
yeah,
makes me think of Treebeard, though, definitely from Lord of the Rings. That's weird.
yeah,
I just found a feather. I have no idea where this feather came from. Creatures. Uh,
creatures.
no, I've never seen any. I'm trying to think. I spent like a lot of time growing up in the woods, but I never saw anything weird that I can remember. I've seen fairies 3 times. Well, I've seen a leprechaun once and fairies twice. Just a fairy, just one fairy. But I've never seen but I've
So,
I've had animals act strangely, and give
okay, okay.
messages that way, but not anything I haven't seen before. But I did have kind of a weird fascination with the chupacabra when I was younger. I thought the chupacabra was just really strange because it was like it was all around, and if you don't know, listeners and watchers, the chupacabra is like a kind of like a dog pig thing or something, and it
Looks
eats.
kind of like
I think it
yeah.
like eats livestock or something like that, or
Yeah, like kind of vampirism, doesn't it?
I think that's right. Yeah, I think it like sucks their blood out. And I like the stories of the Mothman. Do you remember that movie, The Mothman
Oh yeah,
Prophecy?
yeah, yeah.
It came out like when we were in like high school, I guess, or something.
Yes.
I really like the Mothman prophecies.
I
And
like
so
the Mothman stuff too. I saw like a weird thing like that one time. Like nothing came afterwards, like a big disaster that I can remember. But it was just black wings just flew over the top of our car.
yeah, that now stuff like that has happened to me just not too long ago,
They were
actually.
huge, and it was just the
Weird.
wing. And I freaked out, and my like best friend's dad wasn't freaking out, and I was like,
Hmm.
why aren't you freaking out? Did you see that? And he said, yeah, I saw it. And I didn't believe him until he described it to me.
Wow, and he
I was like,
wasn't
why
freaking.
aren't you freaking out?
That is really strange. It's almost like it was his. Hmm.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. It didn't feel nice,
It
whatever
didn't
it was.
sound nice. Yeah.
That area was full of weird stuff like that.
I think I've had other friends tell me they've like on the sea and the ocean, people who like sailors and stuff
Yeah,
like they see a lot of weird stuff coming out of the ocean.
they
And can
do.
you
I'd love to
imagine?
check it out.
Yeah, can you imagine? And just they'll like they every it seems like every day they discover something new out of the ocean, but it's usually small. But
Yep.
these are, like creatures. And not now, speaking of creatures, we do have a Tennessee River around where I live in Decatur, Alabama. And there are giant catfish in this river, like 15 feet long. Not
Oh
kidding.
yeah.
They've been caught,
Get big ones. Yep.
And the
One night well, I saw by myself. I had the only other witness to this would have been my kitten because I was bringing a kitten home with me. So she was just like in my lap while I was driving, and it was the middle of the night. And once again, I was like 6 miles out of town. So like it really bothers me that this thing was this close because this was not cool looking. Like this was not something snuggly or like
What was
I don't
it
know what
look
this
like?
was. Like it snaked up out of the like up the like bank and over the guardrail
Oh my
and like
God.
started crossing the road and I was like, that's like a coyote. And then I was like, no, it's too long. And I was like, that's a cougar. And I'm like, no, that's too long. So then I get up close to it and I just stopped because it was the middle of the night and it was in my lane. So I just stopped in the middle of the road and it snarled at me like the lights were hurting its eyes. And
Hmm.
it had like the face of a hyena. It had like the weird, thick, humped back and neck of a hyena. Its body was long, like, like a cougar, and it had like a long, tawny tail like a cougar. Its back legs were bent backwards like a cougar, but it was too long. And then like one of its back legs looked like fleshy, like human. It had toes.
Well, that's like a mythical creature or something
And
like
it was kind
that.
of like spotted. It was like it was trying to be several things at once. It looked
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
and it looked at me and it snarled and then it like snaked up into the trees. And I looked at it like, what in God's name? Now I've seen pictures of hyena faced looking things that people have seen in
I've seen
Montana.
pictures like that too. They're not quite dogs or
They're
high,
not long like
and
that. And
they're
they
not, yeah.
don't.
And even chupacabra is considered all squished up usually.
Yeah,
They
these are
like,
more like little and they have the hyena looking face, but
yeah.
that's about where the similarity ends. So I was
Yeah.
like, what was that? Because that was pretty close to
Oh my
town.
gosh. What else have you seen?
But the other time that was very strange was driving, and this was in town.
Mhm.
I was driving to work, so this would have been like 7:30 in the morning. It was just getting light. And somebody ran across the middle of the road, the highway, when it was just starting to get light, and I saw the headlights coming, or I wouldn't have even seen this guy running across the road. So when the headlights hit him, they shined through him like he was a shadow person, but I just thought it was like a trick of the light. And then I
Yeah.
realized as he kept trotting across the road and I was watching him that I was like, he was very tall and he was just a shadow, but he had antlers.
Whoa.
And
That's
I was like,
so cool.
what? And so then I had to go to work and be like, everything's normal. I didn't just see
Did
that
you
weird.
say anything to anybody? Like I saw.
Not that day. I told him about it like, later in the
So has
Tuesday.
anyone else in the area seen other? You said one person has, like he
They
mentioned
all,
the
yeah, the
tree.
kids talked about like some of them told me about rando nodding. Have you ever heard of that?
No, what's that?
What? Okay, you're gonna go down a rabbit hole and scare yourself senseless. Rando nodding is an app called Rando Not. You're supposed to concentrate and ask it a question, and it shows you a map and tells you where to go. It usually takes you
Oh.
someplace kind of out in the woods,
Yeah,
right?
okay. Okay.
Now, I would ask something like consequence-free money
Yeah.
is what I would
Really?
ask it for.
Yeah.
But kids are stupid, and so they're always like, "A ghost, something
Yeah,
scary."
I didn't think about that. Yeah, I would have thought money right away.
So
Diamonds.
these kids told me that they went rando nodding out here in this area, and they went out to this old bridge tunnel kind of situation.
Oh, I love those. They're so
And
haunting.
they saw some kind of a humanoid that was like bald and very tall and hairless.
Oh, like Slender Man or something like that, kind
Like,
of.
yeah, something like I was picturing something between like Gollum and Slender Man
Yeah.
combined. They were just like raising
Yeah.
up out of that water. And they were like, it was weird because the water was pretty deep. They're like, so maybe it could swim. And I was like, maybe it was really tall.
Mm.
Yeah.
Standing on the bottom. Yep. That's creepy, man.
That was creepy. Like they have had like rando not situations where kids found like remains in suitcases. Like legit, yeah.
Oh
Like
my
suitcase.
God.
Yeah, it's creepy as hell.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
you think things are supposed to disappear there and there's still things that are found. Imagine all the things
Well,
that
and I've seen
are
videos online of like weird bald looking people things like waving at the camera and holding the suitcases that look just like the suitcase where they found the remains. So like the whole thing is strange.
It's
So I would
freaky.
not sell because I'm too big of a chicken. I have tried it before and it did show me like about a mile away from my house, but I was like, I'm not going out into the wilderness out here. I can't even go
Not
out
by myself.
check the mail in the dark out here.
Yeah, I know, right? So dark.
Knowing that
I have
those
terrible
things
night
are out
vision.
here running around.
Maybe that's why I haven't seen any creatures. I don't notice anything. Maybe I've seen tons of creatures. Now that this isn't exactly a creature, but I guess it is. Have you ever seen the pictures of the two-faced kittens? Have you ever seen those? Like for all my life, whenever one
I've
would just
seen farm
randomly pop
animals like
up.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have the two faces. The kitten one, for some reason, for me, ever since I was about the first time I saw one, whenever I saw a two-faced kitten just randomly and didn't go look for one, online or something, my whole life changed after that in a big way. In some, like, it's just a very strange thing. I have to come across it organically, though. So it's happened about 3 or 4 times. Like one time, like a couple days later, my first husband left me. Like it's over, And I was like, I
Yeah.
saw that two-faced kitten. And another time, I can't remember what happened. It was in high school. I think it was another ending of a relationship or something. But or maybe it was my cousin dying. I think it was my cousin dying. That's the first time I saw one. And then other times in my life, I've seen those. Just they don't live long. They hardly ever live to make it past. I think like
Right.
3 or 4 weeks usually, but some make it. Yeah, it's weird, but they just look so strange to me, and it's uncomfortable. It's
It's
like just
crazy that yeah, that looks painful
it looks
when
painful.
I feel like it looks painful.
It does, yeah. But cats are so weird, and animals they seem strange and creatures. They're different about pain. They don't seem to do what we do. Like, well, I do.
I know I have to be careful when I see somebody that's an amputee because when I see the stump,
Yeah,
I flinch and it's not because I'm like, ew,
it
gross.
surprises you, right?
It feels like I can feel it for a second, just for a second.
Like the limb, right?
Yeah,
I
it
have that
hurts.
feeling too, the
Yeah,
phantom limb. Like I feel like I can feel the arm still there, like energetically.
it hurts. Yeah, I
You
don't
feel
like the way it
pain?
feels. Yeah,
I don't feel
like
pain.
one
I
time
just feel
I
like the presence of it there still, like on the leg or like a hand or
like a
something.
shock. Like I see like a white, it's almost like a white lightning kind of feeling.
Oh. Have you heard from amputees if they feel that?
I've heard that they feel pain and like phantom, feelings and things like
Yeah,
that.
I've
Like
heard
I
about the
know
phantom feelings. Yeah.
there was one time when I was working at like a fair, I was like in a booth, and this like family stopped by and I did my whole demonstration and their kids were like right in the front watching. And I looked down and one of the boys like had like a little like he ended like right at his like elbow. And the same thing happened to me that always happens. And I jumped and they all jumped too. And he said he was sorry. He startled me. And then I looked down and his hands were both still there.
Oh my gosh, that's weird. But
It
maybe
was
the
weird.
I don't know. That's weird, man. That's
It
really
was
weird. You've got some
right.
great stories. You have some like tell me more. Tell us more. We need more. This
My
is
students would get me off on tangents. Like
I bet they did.
tangent teacher. Like tell us some weird. They'd be like, "Can we have story time?" And I'd look at the clock and be like, "Okay."
Well, when I was a kid, I was always fascinated by mythical creatures like Pegasus and unicorns and dragons. I think,
Hmm.
yeah, I have a friend who works with dragon energy and dragons. And I think you and I've talked about the dragons that her, listeners, I don't know if I've ever talked about this before, but I have a fairy dragon that came home with me from Akasha's house. And oh my gosh, the cats are just having a fit over there. Can you hear this cat fight? They're fighting over the ottoman by the door, and they both want it. And I'm just like, ah. But
Misbehaving.
yeah, so like I don't see this dragon, I don't hear of this dragon, but I just know it's there. I can
Yeah.
visually mind's eye see it. It's all it does now is sleep. Like at first, for the first year or two, it was grow, and now it's just been and change colors. in my mind. And I would ask Akasha about this, and she's like, "Oh yeah, they do that. Yeah, and this will happen next." And and these things did happen. And now he's pretty much at this one size, about like this. If you're watching, and if you're not, he's about maybe the size of a truck tire or something, and like an 18 wheeler wheel. And he's usually curled up like a wheel, to sleeping. That's usually what he's doing. And his name was Puck, and now it is Stix. Stixx. It's just strange. It changes. And I asked Akasha about that. I was like, suddenly his name changed. Is that normal? She's like, oh, yeah, they do that at these seasons. So, I mean, I don't know this stuff, and it's just really weird, and he doesn't really need much. He just likes being around, he's
Yeah.
around. He's always asleep. He'll
I
get,
first read about dragons when I read DJ Conway's Celtic Magic.
oh, yeah. What did they say about that in fairy
Just
magic?
have that just we all have spirit dragons,
This is
that we
what this one seems like, a fairy dragon. That's what I feel like it is.
yeah.
A dragon.
I was well, and that book was talking about how like the Celts believed that anything that was from the astral plane that wasn't like physical, biological was a fairy of some kind.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Like the whole
interesting.
fairy folk,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I know
all of it
that they
was,
also thought it was like from the elements. They lived in the
yeah,
elements. They are embodiments of the elements for a lot of witches in that, and especially in the British Isles area. They really love the fairies to be certain elements. This is a water something or a fire something, or except they have banshees. I don't know what they are. They're just death, I guess.
yeah, some kind of a harbinger of
Banshees have
something.
always fascinated me. I think they're really cool.
I have a cat she tattoo.
What's
Um,
that?
it's a cat, like a banshee, but it's a cat form. So
Oh
like
my
basically
god, it's so
what a
cute.
cat she is like
Terrifying.
supposedly in Scottish mythology, they were like really large cats, like probably like dog sized, if not bigger.
Whoa.
They were black and they had like either red glowing eyes or just glowing eyes, and they like lived out way out in the remote areas, and only some people had seen them. And like supposedly they were actually like a medicine woman or a witch woman that could
Yeah.
shift.
Shapeshift. Yeah. There's a lot of legends about witches who shapeshift
For sure. There's not a
and
lot about Ketschies. It's kind of interesting. Like the
yeah.
only thing is like just how they look. They have like a white spot on their chest. It can be like a
Oh, Gander has a white
like
spot.
a yeah. It can
He's
be
a
like
really
a
big cat with a
star. It can be a little bit. It can be a lot. And
mm. Well, he's
yeah,
definitely something.
yeah,
He's a shadow cat. That's what I call him. And he's a
yeah.
creature. Gandalf is a creature. Says Einstein's freaking creature. He's a big creature. Einstein, my other fat cat. But Gandalf
They
is
were big
a
cats.
very unique individual creature. He does not seem like a cat. He doesn't seem like a dog. Like he doesn't seem like a person. He's a shadow cat, and he's neurotic, but in a good way. It's sweet and it's a very like endearing kind of
Oh,
neurotic, And if
yeah.
he loves you, he loves you forever. Ah. But he likes like someone new comes in, he like dances around and wants them to chase him, and he
Sure.
doesn't want them anywhere near him. It's like a game, but then
Yeah.
his feelings hurt if they don't chase him and then just kind of mope around. So, and
Yeah, if you spend enough time with them and their personalities come out, they're about as varied as human beings.
now another interesting creature I've heard people talk about are the lizard people, the reptilians. I
Those
have
are ones
a
that I've
friend
never seen of before.
I
I've never
haven't seen either,
seen.
but I had a friend who swears he saw someone's face change, and that's what most people say is that they see the lizard eyes and then the face kind of change.
I've
But
seen
I,
like a demonic kind of feeling come over a person before where I was like, you
ooh,
know, but I
really?
mean, it could have been a serial killer,
Yeah,
like type
it could have been a
situation
demon though. I mean, because I've
where
seen
the
someone
eyes
like
kind
that.
of went black,
I've
and it
seen
was
that.
like,
I've seen that they get like possessed by something, an entity of some
and they
sort.
saw that I saw it, and they like we both understood at that moment that they
Yeah,
saw that I knew what they were kind of deal. And I was like,
yeah.
go
That's how this was
now.
too. That's how this was too. It did not mind not hiding it, It wanted to see
Yeah,
it. So
it was, yeah,
it's
that stuff.
weird. There are some, but see, the interesting thing is like some creatures, I think, in mythology, maybe, or in our current culture, like the Yeti or the Bigfoot,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's understood, but maybe that's because I like Harry and the Hendersons, that movie, so much. But if you've ever seen it, listeners or
Out
watchers,
where I lived, it's a strange area. There's like a lot of Christianity out here, but it's also like a lot of like Scandinavian mythological kind of holdover stuff
really, that's so
that
interesting.
they don't realize that that's like what they're doing, and
Yeah.
yet they do, like, very much more accepting of people like me than I've ever seen in a
Oh,
small town. Like
wow.
they still think it's weird,
Yeah, but they're okay.
might not
Yeah.
trust it, but at the same time, like, they also seem to understand there's a difference between like good kinds and bad kinds
Good.
kind of deal.
Good.
And
Yes.
so that was something that I noticed that was odd, was the school had like Celtic knotwork around all the like
Oh my
artwork.
gosh. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
progressive
like the
for some
Vikings were
places.
like their mascot, and I was like, everything's so Norse.
Yeah, that is. And the Celtic knots make me think of like Catholic churches. Sometimes Catholics use
Definitely.
that
And so they do have some Catholic people out here. There's some Mormon people out here, but everybody that is out here that's churchy is very, with the exception of one like group, are very, very laid back compared to what most of those religious groups usually are, like Mormons especially.
Yeah.
I'm very
Yeah.
surprised
Curious.
by like how, um, I don't know, how open-minded they are. Like I had so
Yeah.
many kids tell me like, oh yeah, you're pagan. That's cool. Like I always think it's just different interpretations of the same thing. I had so many kids tell me that, and I was like,
Yeah, it's just
it kind of
interesting.
got my chip of Christianity off my shoulder
Yeah. That's nice that your kids did that for you. See, you
for
teach them and
sure.
they teach you. I think that's awesome.
It
Yeah.
was nice, yeah, and like they were very accepting
Now,
but
speaking
yeah, very
of
strange.
kids, creatures and kids, I mean, 3-year-olds, what are they? What are they? 3-year-old children.
They're
That's
pure
a
id.
creature. Pure energy. Sure.
I
Energy.
tell I tell people they're pure id. That's just pure. That's Freud right there walking around doing Freudian things.
Like nothing has a filter. It's not a mouth filter,
Nope,
it's a
it's
body filter,
horrifying.
nothing. Yeah, it's hilarious. So
That's awesome.
of all the things that like have been unusual that you've seen, what that you've either you've talked about or haven't talked about, what was like the most intense or the weirdest or that you were like,
Definitely that thing that crawled across the road was like, because I mean, I was able to really look at it for a long time. Like the other ones, I was kind of passing in my car. The light was weird. This was
yeah,
like in my headlights. I'm watching it move enough to like look at its toenails.
that's so crazy. Yeah, that is a crazy
That's
experience.
really creepy.
Now, listeners and watchers, we have a little thing in our podcast on, so I don't know if it does it everywhere, but I know on Spotify you can answer like, "What did you think of this episode?" I would, or if you want to email us, Lisa at we'reallpsychic.com. I want to hear some creature stories. If you've seen something like that, I'm just fascinated by this. I would love to hear more of stories like this. I just haven't had such fortune, or if I have, I didn't notice it, because I'm not very visual. Now, I will go through and feel energies that are like at the woods, especially, but I don't see anything that looks weird. And if I do, maybe I just don't notice that it looks weird, like a two-headed snake or something. Wow, that snake doesn't have a tail. I've never seen that, but
Sure. Well,
that
there's
would
also
freak me
that
out.
confusion of like, what exactly was that? Is that an animal that like we just haven't seen because it's that obscure? Or was
Yeah,
this some kind of a
mysterious,
supernatural, like, because I know that I read
like an
about this.
elemental. Yeah.
There's a little book that has a very long, strange title, and it's just for like the West. And it was written in the 1930s of like all the mystical creatures that were found out here when people were mining.
Oh my gosh, what's it called? Do you know?
Oh, I know I have it somewhere. I'll have to look
Text me
for it
that. Yeah, I would love to hear
and
about
text it
that.
to you because it is
Yeah.
fun. Like, but yeah, the silver cat was the one that I was
What was that one? Tell me about it.
it's a white or silvery cat that's probably about the size of a cougar, and it
Bring it back.
sings. kind
It
of like a
sings?
person. It sings like a person and like lures you out of your cabin. So then you come out of your cabin. If you actually see the thing, it walks like on its hind legs and it has like a big long like rat tail. But at the end of its like rat tail, it's got this weird bulbous like shell thing with spikes on one end.
Oh my
So
God.
supposedly what it does is it sings out there in the woods. You're not really actually supposed to see one walking around.
You're
If you
supposed
see
to
one,
hear it and go to it and never
supposed
come
to
back,
go
kind of
find
thing.
it. And so like what happens is that it swings that tail down and stuns you, hooks you with the like spikes on the one side, and it just drags you up into the trees and
Oh
eats.
my God, that's horrifying. I can't believe there's not a movie about that. That's like already written, isn't it? It's like couldn't be stranger. Yeah. That's horrifying.
That was
God.
my favorite one, and I was
Silver
like, that
cat. I'm
sounds
gonna
like
remember
something
that. Yeah,
out here, because like the cougars and things do hide up in the trees, and
yes, they do. You're
there
right.
are
Yeah.
times where you can be like out, driving and look up over the ridge and see, hundreds of like elk or deer just standing over the top of your car.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
like, please don't jump down on us.
That is just magical. Yeah, really. You don't want to kill yourself and me and maybe make the mountain fall.
And a little tell about that.
Like
Yeah, there's a lot.
all the meese just jump off at the same time. The meese. That's a creature's a meese.
Definitely
Meese are
lots of
mooses who jump off or moose that jump off the building.
no. I'm like anything to like scare these things onto my car. They're so skittish.
Oh my
Like
God.
antelope are really skittish. So like yeah,
Yes. Yes, I bet. I can't imagine all that stuff you see. That is just amazing. Well, I guess I want to wrap it up a little bit. Thank our
right.
sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app where you can get advice from psychics and empaths so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And Miriam and I are both advisors on Everclear. I am Lisa P, Leesa, letter P. And you are Miriam, just Miriam?
C is
See,
in
God, I'll never get it right. Never remember it. I will. Now, see Miriam, see Miriam, see
as
Miriam.
in cat.
Cat. Oh, that does it. That does it. It's sealed to the silver cat, as in silver cat. I
Yeah.
have to go even farther with that, because there's a lot of cat references in
Yeah.
here.
You'll remember that guy.
Yeah, I remember that guy. And with that, do you have any other terrifying creatures to tell us of that you just would love to speak of?
That's the only, there was one other time, and these were actual real animals, I'm pretty sure, but we couldn't figure out what they were because they were too far away. Turkey buzzards and ravens don't usually flock together by the thousands and thousands and thousands, but like
Yeah.
right before all of the lockdowns happened, they like did that over the top of the whole town, particularly over the top of the school while everybody was going in for a volleyball game.
Oh
And
my
everybody looked up and they're like, "Is
God.
this normal?" And I'm like, "You all are from here. How am I
Wow, that is just so crazy. Now, I just want to give a shout out to those cicadas. If anybody got to check out the cicadas this year, did you get the
I
cicadas?
did not, thank God.
Whoa,
But
whoa. I say
yeah,
I went to Nashville to visit Eric, my boyfriend, and they were just like swirling all over the place on the streets. You get the windshield wipers, and they're splattering. And at their house, at his house, they're just like they have woods behind there, and they're just everywhere. I mean, anywhere you go, they're hitting you on the head, they're landing on you, they're sitting on you, they're on your car, they're on your trees. And when I came back here, it wasn't like that in the town area, but that's the
yeah,
city. I mean, I drove downtown Nashville and there are all these millions and gazillions of them. I was like, are these moths? Like when I first pulled in, I was like,
yeah. I didn't know what they were, but I've never seen one like in real life. We don't really get them up here, but we get Mormon and Jerusalem crickets.
oh, I've heard
And
those are yucky. Yeah.
they're big and disgusting, and they
Yeah,
get everywhere.
they're kind of like camel crickets, right? They have the hump.
Yes,
Ugh.
yeah, they're
Spiders, they look like
gross.
spiders that hop. Yeah. Nah. Well, with the cicadas, if you don't know, Miriam and listeners, this year every cicada cycle came out at the same time. Like they have like some cicada breeds or species or whatever. They have a 3-year cycle of laying eggs and then being born, and then making more eggs and going back down, and dying. And then another one has like a 5 year cycle, another one has a 7, and one has a 12 or something like, or 13 or something like that. I'm not, those aren't the right numbers, listeners, but it's something like that. But the longest one I think is 12 or 13. But every single one cycled up, and I think it's every 212 years or something that happens. So I think that's what I read. But isn't that
Oh,
just
the news,
crazy?
they're like everywhere. I was like, oh, and then they can actually like, and the crickets out here do the same thing where they can actually like cause car accidents.
Whoa! Like
Yeah,
flying.
not just from like hitting windshields and stuff, but from making the roads slick.
Ugh, I don't like that. It makes me feel weird.
Like the creepiest voice ever.
Well, the cicadas are crunchy. I mean, it's just, you know. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Listeners and watchers, we love you and thank you always for watching and listening. And we hope you find some creatures, and I hope you let us know some creature stories, and we can tell some listeners more about any experiences like this, because this is a wonderful topic, Miriam. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Brilliant. I love it when you come on the podcast. I always love hearing from you. So thank you so much. And listeners and watchers, we will catch you again. I have a few more podcasts lined up this week, and then it will be happy times. So everybody have a great time wherever you may be, and peace out. Bye.